You've made vision boards before, but they haven't really worked. After a few months, they actually left you feeling worse. Like you'd look at them and you'd feel demotivated. But you also kind of love vision boards because they are kind of magical and they are kind of fun and they are kind of for the girls. But as the saying goes, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So in this video, I'm going to share some things that you can do differently when it comes to your vision boards so that your vision board actually leaves you inspired, motivated, taking action instead of becoming sort of part of the furniture and something that you sort of ignore after a few months. I'm also going to try and show you my vision board and what it looks like and how I'm implementing some of the stuff that I'm talking about, because I always find that it's more inspirational to see examples. That's just like hearing someone talk. Idea number one. There's this fable about Warren Buffett, and he was supposedly chatting to his pilot, Mike Flint, all about Mike's career, where he wanted to go in the future. So in this conversation, he said to Flint, can you write down 25 of your top career goals, career priorities, things that you want to achieve? And then when Flint was finished, he was like, perfect. Can you circle the top 5, the ones that you care about the most? And so Flint was like, incredible, great advice. I'm gonna work on those top 5, and then on the side, I'll work on those other 15, like when I get the time. And then Warren Buffett was like, no. You are going to pretend like those other 15 goals do not exist. You're gonna ban yourself from working on those other 15 goals, and you're gonna focus all of your energy and time on those top 5. One of the reasons that your vision board may not be working is because it's more like a giant wish list of all the things that would be nice to have, rather than a focused, intentional, these are the things that I wanna create. Think about Christmas when you were young. Like imagine if you handed your parents a list of 25 things that you'd semi-thought about but not really. You just thrown a bunch of things on the list and you were like, that'd be nice. They're not going to be able to get you all of those things, but also they're not really going to have anything that they're super excited to get you. They can tell that like you're kind of lukewarm about everything. But if they heard you exclaiming over and over again throughout the year about how much you wanted a password protected journal, one of those really big Bratz doll houses, and the Lizzie McGuire movie on DVD, they are going to immediately know what to get you firstly, but also they will feel excited to get you those things because they're like, we've heard her talk about it. We know that's something that she really wants. There is no Santa Claus when it comes to goals, but your subconscious mind kind of can be Santa Claus for you. If you put it to work, you take action and you give it some clear things that you are focused on attaining, rather than 25 lukewarm things that would be nice to have. So I'm going to be tweaking my vision board all throughout December, but for now I'm focusing in on 4 things. Firstly, my dream house. I have this on my board every single year because it's like a longer goal. We actually do have like a reasonable deposit saved, but since we started saving, the price of housing has risen by like triple. The second area I want to focus on is calm content creation. So for me, that just means having really strong work boundaries, being super ahead when it comes to my content creation, which I don't feel like I've had this year. And that also kind of links to my last 2 featured Getaways Galore and Date Night Baddies. The other day I got the death card in tarot, and it was like, you're not necessarily gonna die, but you need to realize that your time on earth is finite. I'm not like a huge tarot card girly, but even still, sometimes those things hit, and I was like, one of the biggest things that I would be sad about should I die is that I didn't go on enough getaways with Luke or do enough little adventures with him as well, which is like kind of depressing, but also kind of nice to think about, you know what I mean? So that's why that's kind of made its way onto my vision board. Idea number 2. It's one thing to be like, yes, I want to be a person that does yoga every day and have a picture of a girl doing yoga on your vision board. And it's another thing to be able to completely envision what it would look like to be a yoga girl, to have a clear image of when you would be doing yoga, how yoga would make you feel. For every photo that's on your vision board, for everything that you want to create that you are popping on your vision, match it with an image in your head of you doing, working towards getting the thing that you have pictured. What does it look like in the context of your own life? What does taking action towards it actually look like? Make those images crystal clear in your head. I use Milanote to create my vision board, and that's because it's so easy to use that it literally feels like you have a pin board in front of you where you can just throw whatever you want on it. If you create a vision board using Milanote, you can just use their web clipper to clip any images that you find around the web that you think would be good for your vision board, and then you can input it all into your vision board on Milanote and drag everything in. On your vision board, you can add cute little titles with colored backgrounds to make everything look visually appealing. To make things actionable, you can also add in little to-do lists. You can also create individual boards for each of your goals. You might use this to journal on your goals. You can also add in your action plans. You can dump any useful resources in here, as well as extra images to get you inspired, and create more of a detailed project plan. If you're stuck on what you might put in these boards, they also do have project plan templates that you can use. And they have a pre-made vision board template that you can use to make things even easier. You can add just about anything to your Milanote board. I'm talking text, to-do list, images, links, everything. It's so flowy, it's so easy to use. It's perfect if you're a super visual person when you organize your projects, or if you're just doing anything that is a little bit more creative. I quite literally have my wedding board in Milanote just because you can throw everything in there. Milanote is the perfect tool for creating something like an interactive vision board, but it's also perfect for any project, whether they are personal projects or you're a designer, a creative director, a marketer, or maybe you're starting up a new business. But you can use it for whatever creative project you want, even if you're working with clients, because you can invite colleagues, you can invite clients to add their feedback, and you can collaborate with them in real time. Also, if you want to start a new project in Milanote, you don't get that blank page feeling because they have like 100 templates that you can use to get you started. Milanote is just the perfect tool if you just want to like dump all your thoughts out, then organize them, make it look creative, make it super visual and engaging. The perfect tool for it. And you can sign up for free with no time limit. You can sign up using the link down in the description below and start your next creative project. One thing to think about when you are creating your vision board is, what is this going to do for me? So for example, I have calm content creation on my vision board, and obviously like pictures that I could associate with that would be like me working at my desk, taking notes, because a lot of my content starts with note taking. But also, what does calm content creation get me in life? I've included a picture of sort of night routines, because when you're a calm content creator, you're probably not going to be working at night. And also it sort of links to my getaways. If I'm a calm content creator, going on getaways will be easy. Idea number 3, being able to have a clear picture in your head of you achieving, working towards the things that you want in life is important. But to get even more out of your vision board, contrast that with a list of action steps, the things that you need to actually do to create that future. So have a picture of a girl doing a home workout, and beside that, you want to have a list of what beliefs you need to hold in order to become that person. Have a list of mental habits that you need to embody, or a list of mental habits that you need to break to become that person. Have a list of the action steps that you need to take to get there. And keep on updating this list as you discover more about who you want to become. You don't need like a massive action plan for your goals. I would actually recommend for each goal that you have on your vision board, just have like the next 3 really small action steps that you can take towards that goal, because otherwise you're just going to get overwhelmed. I've also gone ahead and I've created little boards for each of my areas, and in those boards I can do things like add notes, project plan. I do love project planning in Milanote. That way it's like even more actionable. Idea number 4. So when we first set out our vision board, like we are buzzing, we have all of the excitement in the world, but it doesn't take long until we inevitably hit a bump in motivation, or maybe you just get to the point where you're like, do I even care about that? And I don't even say that to be discouraging. It's just an inevitable part of goal setting, like that we should all expect. It happens, we need a plan for it. Something that you can do to prepare for those times is to film little video notes to yourself in advance and put them on your digital vision board. Here are just a few of the types of video notes that you might record for yourself. Open this video when you can't remember why you even wanted to achieve this in the first place. Open this video if you need a reminder of the strategies that you might want to implement to achieve this goal. Open this video when you just need some nice affirmations or mental reminders around this goal. If you're like, no, I'm not creating videos of myself, that's fine. You could also create letters to your future self, just kind of little encouraging notes for difficult times or even for great times. The idea is just to project yourself in the future, being aware that life isn't perfect and it's not always a perfect pathway from A to B, and planning for it so that when you get to those moments, you have resources to help you deal with them. Idea number 5. So I read this article a while ago about 6 harsh truths that will make you a better person, and in it the author talks about the idea of a nice guy. And we all kind of know this idea of the guy who's like, I'm just such a nice guy, women should love me, and they don't, and that means that they're bad. And on that, this guy said, saying that you're a nice guy is like a restaurant whose only selling point is that the food doesn't make you sick. And when he says this to men, they're like, well, what do you want me to do then? Like, go out, get a book on picking up women? Is that what I should be doing? And to that he says, only if step 1 in the book is start making yourself into the type of person that girls want to be around, because that is always the step that gets skipped. Instead of asking, how do I get a job? Ask, how do I become the type of person that would get the job that I want? Instead of asking, how can I get this type of person to be attracted to me? Ask yourself, how can I become the type of person that type of person is attracted to? And this is a step that a lot of people miss when they set goals or they create vision boards. And make this a part of your vision board. Instead of focusing on just the outcomes you want and the things you want to achieve, focus on who you actually want to become. So I have created a little future self map that I think I'm going to develop over time. And this is what it looks like. Interestingly, my future self map maps that I have created in the past, because this is something that I've done before, have always had a really big impact on me. Like whenever I've created these, I feel like I've really moved towards the person on my future self map. I do find with my vision boards, sometimes like I'll be excited about some kind of outcome and that excitement will die off and I'll have changed my mind by the end of the year and be like, yeah, I don't really care about that. Whereas when it comes to a future self vision, which is more focused on traits that you want to develop and like ways of being you want to embody, you kind of stay interested in developing those traits, right? So for example, one of my traits is being an expert questioner or angle shifter in my mind. So just being like a really flexible thinker, which helps me with things like content creation, but it also helps with things like emotional regulation. Like there's so many benefits to being good at questioning and shifting your frame. And regardless of like the outcomes that I want to achieve, I'm always going to want to develop that trait. And I really have noticed when creating these future self maps that I do move towards these traits. If you're creating your future self map, but you're like, I don't really know what traits I need to develop, try going to like a ChatGPT and asking it like, hey, I have this goal. What traits do I need to develop that would help me to achieve that goal? Don't just chug on every trait that it lists. Only use the traits that you're like, yeah, I vibe with that. All the traits that I have on my future self map, I'm like, yeah, that's important. They all feel important. I think that's really important. Creating a good vision board, which comes alongside good, high quality goals, is step number one. But you're not gonna get too far unless you have some built-in ability to be consistent. And I talk all about that in my video on 7 simple actionable ways to build self-discipline. That's gonna be on the screen as well as down below. If you want the perfect place to create your vision board, go check out Milano. Also, if you have any kind of creative project and you're just a creative visual thinker, it is a really good platform for that. That's linked down below. I appreciate you so much and I'll see you soon.